Hello everyone, this is Robin, the Sudoku guy. Once again, this is newsletter number 4. Today it's an easy puzzle, but there is lots of techniques I want to show you, even if it is easy, because what happens is that if you learn to use different techniques, you'll find that you'll be able to solve faster many times. We're going to go through the normal procedure, but we may not even get to do vertical blocks because of all the little techniques I'm going to show you. Now, the first thing I'll do is I'll look at that and I'll say, is there anything that has got only one cell or two cell left, row, column or block? And I don't see anything, so we'll do the normal procedure. Okay, first step, ones. Well, over here we can have a 1 and a 1 there, bottom, top, middle. Twos, this is interesting. Bottom, middle, top. It can go there or there. But if I look down here, there is a 2, so that becomes a 2. Now what's the ramification of having that 2? Let's look down. Remember now I'm saying that if you had a lot of experience doing lots of puzzles, you can use ramifications when you're doing horizontal blocks now, if you wish. If I look at this 2, you can't have a 2 there, and I can't have a 2 there. The only place a 2 can go is there. Center, left, right. So we can put that 2 in. Now we're only left with 2 cells left. Now we have a choice. We can work out what these two numbers could be, or we could just simply leave it. If you don't see that, and you do leave it, it doesn't matter. But just for fun, what are the numbers there? I think it's going to be a 1 and a 1 and a 9. Or 1 and a 7. That's it, a 1 and a 7. Without even putting them in, I can tell you right away that can't be a 1 because of that one. So that becomes the 1 and this becomes a 7. And so we've completed a block there. Now, let's moving right along. We were in the middle of doing horizontal blocks here. Continuing on, I just suddenly noticed before I do those horizontal blocks that, and it's very easy to miss this, here's a column with only 2 left in it. With well, let's see what those are. If we look at that carefully, I think it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a 6 and something else. Let's see, 6, 6. What did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. A 6 and a 7. So if I put a 6 and a 7 here, this is interesting. Wonder what will happen. They are what we would call a matching pair. And I look around and I noticed there's a 7 here. So that changes that to a 6. So this becomes a 6. And whenever you're doing, make a bigger 6 than that. Whenever you're doing checking to see TMB or LCR, always look 2 directions. It's easy to only look at one direction. This now becomes your 7. And all that because we saw this opportunity here. Now let's go back to the horizontal blocks. 3s. There are no 3s along here. Leave it. 4s. There are 2 4s. We can put a little 4 here and a little 4 there. 5s. Well, we can complete the 5. We have a bottom, middle and a top. So a 5 can go in here. 6s. Well, we have a 6 here, it could go all over the place. So let's leave the 6. 7s are already done. 8s, there's no 8 across here. 9, there's only 1 9 and it can go several spots. So I think I'll just leave that for the time being. We'll now go to these horizontal blocks. 1s, well, here's a 1, there's a 1. The 1 has to be in here or here. But when I look up there, I notice that there's a 1 up there. So therefore, this becomes the 1, the big one. Now let's check on this. Left, center, right. Good. middle, bottom, top. We're on the right track. Doesn't do any harm to check yourself. Twos. Well, this is interesting. We could have a 2 here or a 2 there. But I'm going to show you something now that I've just noticed. If I look carefully at these two 2's here, can I have a 2 there or can I have a 2 there? If I say that 2, if that's a 2, this cannot be a 2. It is a line that's filled up. And because it's a line that's filled up, that 2 will not work. Therefore I can erase that and this will become a 2. Now that's a little technique because I was observing that there was only one way in which a 2 can come down into this block. It has to be either there or there, but because of this line here filled in, it has to be there. Now what's the ramification that we've done there? Well, we have a right, we have a left. It has to be in the center here or here, but it can't be there because of that 2, so this becomes your 2. See what progress you make when you pick up these little clues. And this is why I'm saying we may not even get to do the vertical columns just by looking at all these other little techniques. Here we go, we're doing 2's, 3's. Well, there's lots of room for 3's, I'm going to leave that. 4's, well, 4 can go here or here. 5's. 5's can go here, here. I think I'll leave 5's for the time being. Although I can see something here. Just let me show you some cross technique. Let's see if the cross technique helps us. This coming down here means you can't have a, we're looking at this block. This coming down here means you can't have a 5 there. That 5 there coming across here means you can't have a 5 in there. This 5 here means you can't have a 5 there or there. There or there. So that's taken up. This is taken up. This is taken up. So what was left? We're left with 2 small 5's, a little 5 here and a little 5 there. That's using the cross technique to find those little 5's. Moving right along, we'll leave it there for the time being. 6's, well, there's 6's all over the place that could go. We'll leave that. 7's. Nothing there yet, except I have just noticed we have an interesting situation here. When I put in this 1, and using the cross technique, here, 7 can't go there. Come take this 7, a 7 can't go there. The only place a 7 is can go right in the middle there. Now that fits because here we have a 7, here we have a 7. We know the 7 has to be somewhere in here. So there's 2 ways of solving that one. So that becomes a 7. If that becomes a 7, what's the ramification of that? Well, here we have a 7. So top, middle, bottom. It could be there, there, or there, but this 7 cancels that one out. That 7 cancels that one out. So this becomes a 7. All because we were looking for ramifications both directions and we used the cross technique. See what we could come up with. Now let's go to 8's. Well, we have 2 8's. This is interesting. 3 8's, sorry. All the 8's are done. 9's. 9. I'm going to leave the 9's, but I can tell you right now from advanced work, we're using the cross method. We could have 2 9's could go into here. We'll see. We'll find out later. So let's say, just for argument's sake, you missed that. We'll find out later on. It'll solve itself because it's an easy puzzle. Let's go now. We've done the 9's. We'll do these 3 blocks. 1's. Well, a 1 top, bottom, it can go there or there. 2's. We can have top, middle, bottom. It can be there or there, but look, there's a 2 there, so this becomes a 2. Any ramifications to that? No. 3's. We have 2 3's. A 3 could go, whoa, in the bottom, top, middle. A 3 could go here, here, and there. But I'm not going to underline anything. This looks like it could be a matching pair, but you don't underline that because there are 3 3s in there, and there's one more number that could be going in here. And that's a little technique, a little hint to remember. Some people get trapped by thinking, oh, that could be a matching pair, but it isn't. Another number could be in there. Let me see now. 4s. We have no 4s. 5s. We have a 5 here and a 5 here, so this becomes a 5. Now because of that, let me see if there's any ramifications of that. No, I don't see any ramifications on that one. Let's go now back here to, back along here, sorry, to 6s. Well, 6 can go all over the place here. It has to be 6, 6. One of these has to be a 6. Bottom, top, middle. I nearly missed that. 7s. Well, the 7, this is interesting. Top, middle, bottom. 7 can go over there. Now, what's the ramification of that? Well, I can tell you right now, or there's something that I've noticed, that in this block we only have 2 cells left. What numbers are left? 1, 2, 3, 4 are left. 4 is left. 4 is left. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is left. They are a matching pair, because they're the only 2 left in there. Now, I want to show you here, I've just suddenly noticed, by putting in that matching pair and looking at this column, there's only 1 cell left, really, so why not fill that in? Now, this is called the matching pair plus 1. It's a technique that really helps you find another number. In this column, if I count through, including these numbers, we should be able to work out what that cell is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So the 8 has to go there. Now that's a very handy little technique to watch for. If you see a matching pair with only 1 cell left over, then use it. Every new number will help. Now, is there any ramifications of putting that 8 in? Yes, there are. When I look along here, because that 8 is already there, it cannot be in here. This block, there's only 1 other cell it can go in, so therefore the 8 has to go there. Now, because what's the ramification of that? If the 8 goes there, you have a bottom, you have a middle. In this block, it's on the top. It has to go there or there. But there's an 8 down here, which cancels this one out, so that becomes your 8. Now suddenly we've got all kinds of things opening up. I noticed, for example, that here we have a block with only 2 numbers left in it. Here we have a row with only 2 numbers left in it. So let's have a look at that and see what happens. We'll start off with this one first. What is missing in this block? 1, 2, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 1 and a 3. So I can put a 1 and a 3 in there, and they are a matching pair because they're the only 2 cells left in that block. Okay, if that's a 3, we could have 3s here and here, we'll leave it. Too many. Let's look at this row here. There's 2 lefts. 1, 2, a 3 is missing. Okay, that's just interesting. A 3 is missing. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6 is missing. So if that's 3 and a 6, but let's have a look down now. Let's have a look down. I suddenly notice there's a 3 down here, so that changes this to a 6. And this one gets changed to a 3. Now this block has only got 2 left in it. I wonder what those 2 are. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6 and a 9. So we'll put a 6 and a 9 in here, and look down and above and all over the place. Well, we know that's a 6 and a 9 because if we work it that way as well as working out the block. But here's a 6 over here, so that changes this here to a 9 here, and 9 there, and a 6 there. Okay, we've finished a whole lot there. Now we come again. I notice something here. This is another example of the matching pair plus 1. Here we have in this row a matching pair, and there is 1 cell empty. So let's count through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has to be a 9. So there we go. Now we can double check ourselves. We have a top, a middle, and a bottom. You could have worked it out, seen it that way as well. I'm just showing you different techniques. There's so many different techniques you can use on the easier puzzles. When you get to the tougher ones, then it's a matter, could be just one technique that will let you get a number to go to the end of the puzzle. And that gets exciting when you're able to discover that one technique that got you to the end of the puzzle. Now we're looking at 2 left in here. What are the numbers? We are missing a 3 and a 4 in here. 3, 4. Let's look down. Here's a 3 here. If that 3 there means that this becomes a 4 and that becomes a 3. So we've finished that block. And that makes sense because we have a top, bottom, and a middle. And we have a bottom, top, and a middle. So these can be solved. Not yet. We're still working at it. Now I can see all kinds of things happening here just because of ramifications. Using TMB and LCR, and there's a few other little techniques like the cross technique where vertical and horizontal lines intersect or cross, and the matching pair plus 1. We've used all those techniques. This column only has 1 left. Let me see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9. Okay, that's going to be interesting. If that's a 9, what are the ramifications of that? Well, going down, it's all done. But going across, what does it mean? 9, 9, 9, and 9 can be in here. Let's find out. Let's do it. It'll help us. No pushing on now. Is there a column or a row that's only got 2 left? Well, yes there is. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've noticed that I think this column here only has 2 left, and the 2 numbers I think are 6 and something else. 1, 2, 3, 6 and a 4, 4 and a 6, 6 and a 4. Without even writing them in, if there's a 4 and a 6 missing in here, that 4 means that that's going to be a 6, and this will be a 4. Great. Now I see a block with only 2 left in it. Here we have a 6 and something. Let's work it out. I think it's a 6 and an 8. Let's check. 6 and an 8. Well, it has to be an 8 because we've got a middle, a center, a left, and it has to be on the right here. So we'll put that 8 in. 6, 8, 6, 8. Let's look right and left to see if there's a 6 or an 8. Yes, there is. Look, here's a 6. Here's a 6, which means that becomes an 8. And this becomes your 6. Now we have a column with only 3 left inside, and remember in a later lesson in our beginning course we show you how to work out what those are. And just for fun, let's look at that to see what happens. We could do it different ways, easier ways. There's two left in here, there's 2 left in here. In these rows we could probably do it that way. But just to show you another little technique which I will do many times, let's see what's missing in here and see if that helps us. What is missing? We're 1, 2, we're missing a 3. Okay, so we can put a 3 in here. We can't put a 3 there because there's a 3 there. And we're missing a 3 here. That gives us a 3, 5, 3, 5. There's a 4 here, it can't be there. There's a 4 here, it can't be there. So we know that that is a matching pair. And this becomes the 4. And we can check that out because top, bottom, middle, bottom. So we're left with 3, 5. Does that 3, 5 help us at all? Well, we know on this row here there is 2 cells left, so this has to be a 3, 5. And let's see what that does for us. Well, if you look down, you can see a 5 here. So that cancels that 5 out. And this becomes a 3. This is going to be really dynamic. That becomes a 3. This becomes a 5, but we're not finished yet. That becomes a 3. And let's go back to this first move when that became a 3. What does that do? Well, this makes this 3 a 1 and this 3 a 3. So now we've completed that block. All those blocks are done. Now on this particular column there's only 1 left, and look, we've got the 1 there, so this cancels that 1 out, and you may say, well, we're going to have 2 3s. No, we're not. Let's count and see what is left. Let me see now. 1, 2, 3, 4 is missing, so we put the 4 in, and that enables us to work this one out. But you know what I've suddenly noticed, and this is a perfect example of how things can be missed. When I put that 4 in, I did we have the 4949 already? I'm not sure. But when I did the 49 and put it in, I didn't look both directions. So we know now, by going through other techniques further on in the puzzle, this is happens a lot with easy puzzles, is that this 4 means that that becomes a 9, and that means that this becomes a 4, and let's check that out, bottom, top, middle. Now you may say, why can't a 4 be here or here? Well, there's a 4 there and there's a 4 there. So you're left with a 1, 3 matching pair here in this row, and that matching pair can easily be solved because you've got a 1 up here, so this becomes a 3 and that becomes a 1. So many different ways, techniques that you can use to solve once you learnt the techniques and learn to look for them. It's a matter of spotting them. That's quite the challenge for some of us when we start out. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3. This has only got the 1 left in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 6 that's missing. Yeah, that makes sense. We didn't see that before when I put that 6 in. 6, 6. This is a 6. So you can double check yourself. Now we're left with a matching pair in here. And here there's only 1 left in this row. Let's do the 1 that's left. It's probably easier. 1, 2, 3. It's an 8, I think. Yes, it's an 8. And down here, therefore, we must have what's left over in this row, which is a 9. Counting through. Therefore, well, look what happens here. This 9 cancels out this 9. Therefore, this 9 becomes the 9, and we can check ourselves out by going left, center, right. And now we have only 1 left, which you can do 3 ways. You can either look at the column, we'll see what's missing. You can do the row to see what's missing, or you can do the block to see what's missing. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5, and let's check ourselves. 5, 5, 5, and 5, 5, 5, 5. And folks, we have done this puzzle. I hope you got some clues there. We also did a lot of revision. The more revision, the more times you see me do a certain technique, the better it is, because you start to remember those techniques. Let me tell you a quick little story to finish off. I had a student once who was stuck on something, and that's because they forgot to use one technique. It was called the cross technique, vertical crossing or intersecting with a horizontal line. So that's it for this session. Can't wait to show you what's coming up next in newsletter number 5. Bye for now.